All right, Orange Nation, welcome back. Good to see you guys once again. We got a solid workout in store for you. We're going to begin first, however, with a dynamic warm-up. Coach Angela is going to take us through, starting with a plank alternating bird dog. Hands and knees is your starting position, and we're going to extend the opposite arm and the opposite leg, engaging that core by drawing that belly button into your spine. Next up, we're going to go right into a push-up position, and we're going to perform a plank alternating toe ankle tap. So we're going to sit the hips back and reach for your ankles as best as you can. Last one, come back upright. We're going to perform a Cossack squat. Feet are wider than your hips. Keep those toes pointing straight. As you sit your weight into your heels, you're going to lift the toes on the opposite foot up. All right, fam, it is now your time to get warmed up. So let's get those muscles working so we can start burning.
Can it be done? When you looked at me and I dove into your eyes, frozen with anticipation, you harnessed me and told me come in close. It's where I belong, the hole is gone. Felt as though I was far away, you got me with your voice. To where I belong, the hole is gone. You're the shape I didn't know I needed in my life. You best believe I see it in your eyes. You best believe I see it in your eyes. You best believe I see it in your eyes. You best believe I see it in your eyes. See it in your eyes. Arms and legs uncrossed. There's no conversation, and I'm noticing I'm staggering across to you. It's my resignation. I'm letting go and letting you go in to where you belong. The hole is gone. Felt as though I was far away. You got me with your voice. To where I belong. My heart was stone. You're the shape I didn't know
right, I think it's time.
It's time.
Upper body mini bands. Yeah. 8 is great. 8-minute block. Every exercise is 8 reps. Okay. We're going to start down on all fours for a 4-point glide. Mini band is over the wrists. Elbows are nice and lecked out. We're going to just glide one hand out to the side, activating those upper body muscles. Once we've completed 8, we're going to switch to the other side, keeping the core nice and tight. From here, we're going to take it to a standing position. We've got 8 uppercuts. So our palms are turned in nice and neutral. We're pulling down from the backs of the shoulders as our arms go up. Tension on the band always. Don't lift too high. Keep the pressure down through our shoulder blades. Then we're coming to a front raise. Again, shoulders engaged, thumbs up. We're lifting, keeping the tension on the band. Arms are always shoulder width apart. Don't worry about going higher than shoulder height. Keep that tension. Finally, we're going to hinge at the hips, driving our hips back and pulling our core in for a low row into a bicep curl. The elbows stay in the same plane, and we activate from the backs of the shoulder blades, tension on the band. 1 row and 1 bicep curl equals 1 rep. You've got 8 of them. We ready?
Let's do it.
Let's go.
All right, guys. We've got a little bit of cardio coming your way on this block. 8 minutes of work, 4 different exercises. They're all going to be timed. Here's the catch. The shorter the interval, the more intense the move's going to be. You ready to go, Julia?
I'm ready.
All right, we're going to start things off nice and easy. 1 minute of a plank walk to an alternating shoulder tap. As we hinge back, we're going to bring our hands down to the ground, keeping the legs straight, feeling the stretch in the hamstrings as we get into our high plank. Then alternating, touching opposite hand to opposite shoulder. Option here, you can always bend the knees on the way down into your plank walk if you need to. Next up, we got 45 seconds of a front jack. So on this one, we have a moderately heavy object, popping it out as we bring our feet out wide, back to your starting position. Options here, take a big old step out as you do that front press. Next up, we got 30 seconds. We're hitting the ground in our high plank position, 30 seconds of a running man, alternating getting our knee as close to the chest as you can, keeping up that tempo. Last but not least, we're going to bring it down to our forearms into a low plank. You're not done yet. You got 15 seconds of a forearm plank jack. So keeping elbows stacked underneath the shoulder, nice and easy. Bring our feet a little bit wider than hip width back to your starting position for 15. Then, now you get your 15 seconds of rest. But wait, we're going to repeat that for 3 total rounds here. Let's get to work.
fight can easily die. Yes, I swear that it'll rise. Will without you. Resist but like the fire. Today, for a second think I will keep quiet. 'Cause I will be fine. Will without you. I can feel it burning through like fire. Yeah,
let's focus on your shoulders and your core for the next 8 minutes. We're going to have 4 different exercises that we're going to continue to repeat until time is called. Let's shoot for a minimum of 2 rounds. Now for this block, we are going to be kneeling, so make sure that you have a padded surface under your knees. Could be that towel or yoga mat like we've got, and you will need 2 objects that weigh roughly the same amount. We decided to grab our cans of beans out of the cupboard this morning, but if you've got something that weighs roughly 8 to 12 pounds, that would be great for this block. Let's get started with our first exercise. It's what's called a half get-up. Now, there are 4 different parts to this movement that you want to think about as you're working through it. Start by laying flat on the ground. You're going to slide your heel into your glute. Whatever hand has one object, that's the knee that's bent. Your opposite leg is out straight. Now, think about a punch and crunch to get started. Stack that can of beans directly over your shoulder. Your opposite arm is out at a 45-degree angle, and as you watch John, he's going to punch towards the ceiling, landing on that elbow first, and then continuing all the way up to the palm of his hand, still that straight line down to that shoulder. Roll your way down nice and slow. So find your elbow first, and then roll 1 vertebrae at a time. Punch and crunch up to that palm, and then elbow, and roll back down. Your option, get rid of that can of beans and simply work through body weight only. You've got 12 on one side, 12 on the other. Your second exercise is called a half kneeling around the world. Grab both of those objects, 1 in each hand. Then we're going to get into that half kneeling position. Front knee directly over top of that ankle. Feet are still hip width apart. And then from here, you're going to draw a half circle with both of those arms, meeting those objects together at the top, and then returning back down to those hips. So full range of motion with those shoulders. Your option here, you reduce your range of motion if you need to, and you can always lighten up the objects that are in your hands. Feel free to do it body weight as well. 6 on one side, then switch those legs, 6 on the other. Your next exercise, back to that core work, we've got our bear plank to a kick through. So hover above the ground just about 1 to 2 inches, curling your toes under, again, space underneath your knees, hips over knees. And now, John, let's kick 1 leg through to the opposite side. So we're crossing under that body, return back, reset, before you kick that opposite leg through. Your option here, you keep both hands planted on the ground and simply bring knee to the back of that wrist. We have 1 more exercise. Got to get back into that half kneeling position. This time we only need 1 can of beans. Single arm shoulder press to stand. So full body movement here. From here, press up, hold it there, keeping that arm nice and straight. Now drive through that front heel, stand up, and then from here, you're still keeping that straight line. Come back to that knee, then return back to your shoulder. So press, stand, keep it there, come back down to the ground, and then return back to your shoulder. Your option, you can grab a lighter object, or you can simply work through your shoulder presses. You've got 12 on one side, 12 on the other. 8 minutes of work. Let's get to it.
All right, we've reached the cool down. For this one, you're going to use a towel. Dee, you already have yours. Awesome. We've got 5 exercises here. We're going to start with 20 seconds of an overhead reach. As you can see, Dee is holding on to the widest part of her towel. The wider your towel is, the deeper these stretches are going to be. Bringing the arms overhead, nice deep breath, shoulders nice and tall, chest tall, really working those shoulders. You got a 20-second hold here. Bring it down to reset. Next up, 20 seconds per side of a side bend. In that same overhead position, nice gentle lean to our side. You're gonna feel it more in your lats and your obliques. 20 seconds to one side, 20 seconds to the other. Now, we're gonna bring that towel behind us for a reverse shoulder stretch. Palms are facing back, shoulders nice and tall. Raising our arms behind us, you're gonna feel that stretch in your shoulders as well as your chest on this one. 20-second hold. Next up, we have our tricep stretch. Now, this one happens to be a bit more of a combination stretch. You'll feel it in the shoulders as well as the triceps. We have one arm overhead. Our other arm is at the small of the back, thumbs facing each other here. A great challenge, if you have good range of motion, you can bring your hands a little bit closer together. If not, you can bring them a little bit wider. You've got 20 seconds per side here. Next up, we're going to go ahead and put the towel down. 20 seconds per side of a wrist and forearm stretch. Starting with our fingertips down, Dee's going to gently draw those fingers towards her for 10 seconds. Then bring those fingers up towards the air. Same, pulling those fingers towards you. You've got 10 seconds in each position, then you'll switch sides. You earn this cool down. Enjoy it.